I ain't gonna lie, bro. This kind of had me like thinking and like feeling some type of way a little bit, right? So before I say what I gotta say, when you walk into a restaurant and you consume their food, before you walk into that restaurant, tipping should already be up on your mind. So the statement that I'm about to make isn't really debating whether or not you should tip or not, because if the service is good, 100% you should tip. So I went to Buffalo Wild Wings earlier today. Just something casual. I wanted some wings, a burger, whatever. So I went to Buffalo Wild Wings earlier today. I ate. The service was pretty good. So once again, this is not me debating whether or not you should tip or not. If the service is good, you should tip. But something like really stood out to me up on that receipt that she gave me. So on the receipt that she gave me, and I basically got the receipt right here. But on the receipt that it gave me, it gave me the suggested tip amount. But it don't do the tip amount based on the amount of work that they did. That tip amount, and it says it on the receipt, that tip amount, I only spent like $68, but on the tip amount, it says suggested tip is based on that $68. And I'm not complaining about the tip. Quite frankly, I don't too much care about the tip. But what stood out to me is that they're not basing the tip amount upon the work that they did. It's based upon the amount that I spent. So basically, let's say I order like a fat, expensive steak for like, let's say $150, right? That's one trip. So if I order a fat steak and the server only has to go back and forth once, let's say maybe twice, for like the drink. Let's say two times, but okay, so two times, but that's $150. So what if I order, let's say the average price for like chips and salsa at a restaurant is about, let's say like $6. So let's say if I order like five of those, five chips and salsa for $6, that's $30, $30 to $35 right there. So that tip amount will probably be what, like $5, but they have to go back and forth like five times. So if I order a big steak, that's $150, even though they had to go back and forth only one time. Because remember, we're talking about the servers. The servers don't cook the food. We're talking about the servers, the people who bring you the food. So if they go back and forth only one time, so I'm expected to pay, let's say if the steak is $150, the suggested tip would probably be like $20 or something like that. So you telling me because they did less work, because I spent more and they did less work, I have to pay more opposed to me ordering like five orders of chips and salsa for like $6. So that's $30 total right there. And because up on the chips and salsa, they had to go back and forth like five different times. So you're telling me that they don't deserve more for doing more? Yeah, man, I don't know, man. I think my problem with the tipping culture is that upon this receipt that she gave me, it's pretty obvious that they don't base the tip up amount upon the work that their workers did. They essentially based it on how much money you have or how much money you spend with them, which once again, that's my problem with like the tipping culture. Not tipping in general, that's fine. I agree. If you go to a restaurant, you should tip. And if you ain't got money to tip, you probably shouldn't go out to eat. I don't know, man. I just think it's pretty like shady business that just because I spent $150 up on one steak, thus making them do less work as the server, opposed to me ordering like a bunch of like $5 items off the menu, and my total come out to like $50. So for that $50, even though they had to go back and forth like 5-6 times, the suggested tip amount is like $10 out of that because I spent $50, even though they had to do like way more work opposed to the $150 steak where the suggested tip amount minimum would be like $20. So yeah, I just think it's pretty I just think the tipping culture kind of got to be fixed because yeah, like I said, I mean I don't care about tipping, so this video isn't to say that I'm not going to tip, I don't want to tip. It just, I don't know, it just kind of like make it make sense. But yeah, man, let me know what y'all think, bro. Like, am I bugging? Or like I said, man, this tipping stuff is just like, we want to tip, but I want to tip for like what I feel like is the right reason. You know what I mean? I don't want to tip. I don't want to feel obligated just because I'm spending $200 upon a fancy steak. I don't want to feel obligated to tip like 30-40 bucks. Even though, number one, the server didn't even cook the food. And number two, she only came back once. So what did she do to deserve 40-30 bucks out of the, because I spent like $200? Now, if I'm ordering like, you know, like if I spend $150, but I'm ordering like 5 different meals, then that's totally different because the server is doing way more work. But all they're doing is just bringing me that one steak that I spent $200 upon. But because I spent $200, I got a tip way more. But yeah, man, I just wanted to get up on here and talk about that because, like I said, when I went to the restaurant earlier and I read the receipt, it basically let me know that the tip amount is indeed based upon the amount that I spent. Which, you know, I already knew that, but it's just kind of wild for it to basically be known upon the receipt that, like, yeah, your tip amount isn't based on the amount of work that our workers did. It's solely based upon the amount that you spent. Yeah, man, let me know what y'all think about that. I'm out. Peace.